I already knew that I wanted to go into programming in high school, and I'm based in Switzerland, so we have this model of doing apprenticeships instead of everyone going to uni, and programming is one of those. And so I was sure very quickly that I wanted to do that. And yeah, so at 15 I started this apprenticeship, and that yeah was really all I wanted to do. I was sure from a very young age that I wanted to go down this route. I think this came over time. Initially, I was more interested in just building applications. I was working in different products and consultancies and stuff like that, and also started getting more and more into open source. And security is just something that always was kind of in the back of my mind, just because I was working on rather large Swiss services, and security was important, and being able to deal with it was important. And so I don't know, there was no specific part when I was like, I'm going to go into security now. It was more like a gradual shift where I started to get interested in the topic more and more. Around 10 years ago, I was working in a consultancy with lots of other good devs, and one in particular, which also happened to be my roommate a bit later on, somehow stumbled upon the first Phoenix book. And he bought the book and also one about Elixir. Uh, he himself, I don't think he ever read it, but I did, and I was like, this is super cool. And once I started working in my own company, I was working in an agency with two other partners at the time, and we stumbled upon this project, which was basically a bit of like online trivia kind of thing, but involving money, which meant that we had to do a kind of like a WebSocket based kind of game in the browser, but we needed to keep the state on the server to be sure that nobody was cheating around that money. And that seemed like the perfect thing to use Phoenix for. That perfectly matched kind of the picture I had in my head on what that technology can do. And at that point, I also kind of learned in the end, this is just a normal technology like most other things as well. Until then, I was looking for this like unicorn project where this technology makes sense. But I quickly realized that everything I could do mostly with PHP before, there was no reason not to do it on the Beam, and actually to do it better as well. Especially around stability of the systems we were programming, and also around testing very specifically. I think Elixir is just a lot better. And yeah, from that point on, from that project on, I kind of stuck with it, and that led me here. There is many, to be honest. So I really love Phoenix, even though I'm not doing that much Phoenix anymore. I also love I love Ash, which I only used once, but I really like the approach, and I hope that this gets more traction over time. Um, and I also think that the whole NX stuff is very, very cool. In my last job, I had to crunch a lot of numbers, and being able to throw that onto a GPU was just a game changer. And yeah, so there's lots of tiny things as well, like I don't know, kip calls, CLDR libraries, and stuff like that as a whole, which just makes the whole platform very, very cool to me. I'm really looking forward to see what change this can bring into the ecosystem, and if we can actually make our applications safer in a way as well. The other thing I'm quite excited about is just the stuff I'm working on personally at the moment, just because that's the thing I'm in touch with the most, I would say, which is around all these security initiatives that we're trying to get started, which should also help to get the Beam to a place where it works really well also in corporate environments in the EU specifically also going forward. I joined specifically because of OpenID. In a lot of projects, I was using OpenID. However, I wasn't happy about the state of OpenID at that time. And I joined up the first meetings, basically going in there and seeing if there is a way to implement OpenID well on the Beam. And we also actually got that done. That was a stipend I did for the EF. And at that point, I was kind of pulled into the working group and for lots of different topics as well. Right now, the CISO position is more of a bit of a visionary position, I would say, because I'm trying to figure out all the paths and things that we need to be able to work in these kind of high security and also high compliance environments. And unfortunately, a lot of those things are actually quite complicated. They need a lot of effort, a lot of time, which is just more than what I can do at the moment. So I'm primarily figuring out what are the important parts that we need to do. I'm trying to figure out on how to get funding for them as well, so that we can actually hire more workforce to do those things. And at the same time, the stuff that seems like it could be something that I could actually do with my limited available time, just doing it myself, I'm just also trying to get them done, like we can see, for example, with the open chain certification of Elixir that we released recently. So there is, I would say, two primary goals at the moment. The first one is supply chain security, which basically involves making sure that what you install on your device is actually what you think it is. So if something says I'm coming from this Git repository, we should be sure that that's actually what's in the hex package, for example, that you're downloading. And at the same time, we also want to be able to make certain attestations about the things that you're installing, like what were the contents that made up this package essentially, where was it built, where was it acquired, all of those kind of details. And on the kind of the second part is the compliance initiatives, which is mostly around proving to others, mostly bigger corporates, I would say, that we actually know what we're doing, that we're keeping up with best practices, that we're configuring our Git repositories in a way so that it's not simple to just steal a password and push whatever there, all these kind of things. Just trying to pull all of this together into like a coherent set of tools so that we can be as secure as possible. We're going through multiple steps for all of those things that we're planning. The first one is we need to have a broad idea of what we're actually doing. And this is what I try to achieve with publishing this initiative. The second step is we need to actually have enough funding to be able to pay the people that we need. And also important here is funding doesn't necessarily mean money. So if a larger company that actually has know-how in that area says, we want to take on that specific topic, that would work perfectly as well. Once we have secured that, we just need to make more detailed plans and see it through. One important part of all of this is also talking to other people. I'm currently joining a lot of working group meetings from other foundations like the OpenSSF, just to figure out what the best ways are and how we should do things, because this is really a place where, for once, we don't want to be special in all these topics. We want to do the same thing as everybody else, so we can easily get the same check marks as everybody else. And so yeah, we're really trying to align our approaches with what the rest of the industry is doing. The foundation has lots of different working groups that are looking into lots of different topics. And if you have the skills to help us out in any one of those kind of topics, it would be great to have you on board. We have working groups for education, for example. We have working groups around embedded systems. We have the security one. We have one for raising more money. There's lots of different areas where you could help us. And by doing that, you also get access to a lot of very interesting people that are trying to achieve the same things as you are. And so it's very handy, for example, to be able to approach people like Jose Valim or the Hex maintainers or whoever it is, really, whatever you're interested in, very directly, just because you're aligned with like a broader initiative and it's not just a random idea in your head. And so, yeah, it's really great to access the right people quickly. On the other side is companies. If you want to join up as a sponsor of the EF, that would be great as well. As you can see, we're trying to do lots of good things, not only in security. And if you would join up, that would really help us both financially to fund more stipends, but also just to show that we have industry backing as well, which is important if we try to fund any money anywhere else.